Hello student, welcome back, and today we are going to learn about nuclear 12.4 nuclear energy in Malaysia. So as we all know, nuclear energy is it can generate economy, and I don't have my pen, so it's very difficult for me to write. Okay, it can generate economy, it can generate power, generate electric, it can generate energy. So I just use my mouse to write, which is quite difficult. So the most important thing lah, economy and energy. So we usually science people, for science we won't say that we don't want nuclear, that is to the extreme, because in our society usually nowadays there are always two group of people. I think we should be in the balance a bit. Okay, there will be some group of the people that always say don't use plastic, don't use nuclear, don't use whatever, human is bad, human is polluting the environment, and so on. Then there will be another group of people that balance a bit. Okay, like, okay, maybe you can use plastic but don't use too many, or maybe you can use nuclear energy but use it wisely. So I hope that for me lah, I hope we should be in the second category, because we still need to use plastic and we still need to use nuclear energy. I mean, for me, I think it is one of the best energy that can be used, because it is cost efficient and it can provide a lot of energy. Okay, it's cost efficient and it can help a lot. And if one day, I don't know, like, because we are science man, just imagine if one day they can put like very 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 small nuclear in your car, for example, then can you imagine the car like forever no need to pump in petrol or put in little bit small nuclear energy, like if they can just make it into a tiny battery and put into your laptop, and your laptop will always have electric for when you buy until when you throw away the laptop. I don't know lah. So it's just my imagination. So who knows in the future? So that is why technology will be always improving, and we also hope that, of course, it cannot be explored lah, that it must be continue to be researched. But of course, if you say I don't want, that means you need to stop. When you stop, you know, not continuing the research, then the things cannot improve. Who knows if you can put in the car and then make the car fly, because you need a lot of energy to make something to fly. So let's look at nuclear energy in Malaysia. So you can see that even in Malaysia, 70% of energy is generated by natural gas. So usually is, are you sure it's natural gas? I think most of it is from coal, fossil fuel, which is coal. Is it coal? I also forgot already, but I know it is 50 or 60% by coal. Is it? I forgot already. But I know it's not hydroelectric. Hydroelectric is maybe 20 or 30%. So I mean, you say we want to go green, but 70% we are actually using coal already, and we are using gas, and we are using petroleum. So how can we go green if we are using petroleum, natural gas, and coal, which will produce a lot of carbon dioxide because they need to burn it? So in Malaysia, we can see that you can go Google and check. Yes, 70% is by petroleum, natural gas, and coal. That's why when you don't off the electric, eventually we are polluting the environment, because you don't off the electric means the generator will burn more coal, natural gas, and petroleum. So this is also non-renewable. So we want to add nuclear in Malaysia, so it might help a bit. In my opinion, Malaysia needs to build nuclear power station to meet the increasing consumer demand of electric. I do not agree, because nuclear reactor produce radioactive waste that is dangerous to human and the environment if not handled carefully. So of course there will be always some person that agree and some people that disagree, and you need to think lah. You can pause the video and think to yourself whether you agree or you disagree and why. Yeah, so of course there will be pro and cons lah. Of course you say economy and what, then of course the another person say if you use the nuclear then people die, then how if people die if during accident, then we will say that, or maybe we can reduce the number by putting it in a, we need to have some critical thinking like in case the question asks, maybe we build it in a remote place where it's far away so that when it explode it won't, people will not die, and there are many plans that we need to think, we need to consider, so that especially building a far place is very important so that when it explode no people die. And I don't think like it's like a debate. I don't think that because you say that people die then we cannot do, because people also sit in the car and die. So are we going to cancel the car? Or people that build houses also will die. So are we going to say that we don't build more houses? But what we are going to say is we are going to reduce the number of deaths by proper planning. Then people don't die, like the Fukushima Japan nuclear reactor explode. I think no people die. But of course, you may ask then how about the pollution? Yes. In terms of pollution, I think it will pollute the place there for many years, 20 or 30 years. It will continue to pollute the environment. Then we have pro and cons. So of course we need to think the bad thing, and then we need to think a good thing, and we need to think when we make decision. One day you become politician or teacher, then you need to think about how about the children in the world, how about the parents in the world, how about the politician, how about the economy, how about the job opportunity, how about the school, how about the health, how about the environment. So after you think and think, then you can make a good conclusion. So every time lah when I have problem, then I will think, okay, if the parent think like this, the student think like this, the school think like this, the principal think like this, the safety is like this. So we need to consider many aspects. Then when people ask us, then we can answer. If not, we say cannot, then people can be many things we need to think. Okay, so of course we already do the discussion about the nuclear question. I think it's a very good question. Okay, several factors to be considered while operating a nuclear station. Okay, first thing you need to know, coal, natural gas, protein will deplete. Eventually, Malaysia will finish the one day, maybe 20 or 40 years later or 100 years later, it will be deplete, means no more. No more, then what are you going to use for car? Of course, we can say we use Tesla car, because Tesla's car is using electric and not petrol. But if no electric, then how you want to charge the car? So there is another thing. Effects of pollution. Yes, in terms of pollution, I think still a big problem in terms of pollution. Once it explode, it will stay there for many years, 20, 30 years, and it's very small, you know, the radiation. And when the wind blow, it will fly. So when it fly, it can bring very far. So the pollution is really risky in terms of nuclear pollution as compared to the fossil fuel. Location must be good. Of course, got water, must be strategic place. The rate of energy production of nuclear is greater than the fossil fuel. Yes, of course, the power that you get is more than the fossil fuel, which is actually it gives more money. Or you can say that if you want to help people, first thing is you generate the economy. You generate the economy, people got more job, people got more money. Once they got more money, you got more education. Means usually the one that is poor that neglect education. Of course, we are very lucky now we have YouTube. But sometimes if you go maybe to some kampung place like Sabah, Sarawak, or you read the news, some students they need to walk very far or no Wi-Fi there. They have this problem. So we are very lucky. But main issue is the money. So we can say that if we want to make education better, we need to think of way to get the money. And if I get the money, I also can build transport. I also can build health or hospital. Want to build hospital in the kampong area, rural area, you need money. So we need to think everything as a whole, not just saying that, oh, okay, it's probably we don't want to build, but you don't have money. When you don't have money, many problems will happen. In fact, if you study in marriage, usually the main problem is money. The one of the main problem of divorce is money. Of course, it's many factor lah. It's money, and we also can see in our country, daddy problem and mommy problem. Usually, it's also about money, right? No money, then then that's why people go to vote. If the government cannot make the economy good, then people will not be happy. So they'll be going to vote the government. So the government can make more money. I don't know which government, but depending on the government, they can make more money. So yes, many things we need to consider. Science very good. Science is a place that we can develop things and to earn more money and with a logical thinking. Okay, so this is a nuclear agency. If you got chance, maybe you want to work in here. If you really like science and nuclear, you might want to go to study your science, and then you can work inside here, and you can make a safer Malaysia that can produce more electric. Okay, state 2 energy sources that are currently used in Malaysia. Still remember? Okay, so of course we can say that it is petroleum. Wait, where's my thing again? Petroleum and natural gases, for example. You might want to consider as okay. Main energy. I want to write. The first thing I want to write is fossil fuel. Fossil fuel. You need to understand. Why this thing always there? Okay, fossil fuel. You know what is fossil fuel, right? Fossil fuel is like the dinosaur bones in the past. So we say it's a fossil. Fossil fuel is divided into 3. Okay, number 1 is, I just put here no place. Oh my goodness, are you serious? Now I cannot move this thing. Wait, let me move this thing. Just put here. Okay, fossil fuel is divided into 3. One is natural gas, coal, and petroleum. Okay, so that you don't be confused about these 3 things. Okay, of course that is why sometimes the answer will write fossil fuel, sometimes the answer will write natural gas, sometimes the answer will write coal, sometimes will write petroleum. Of course, all of these is fossil fuel, but only fossil fuel is divided to 3: natural gas, coal. I don't know whether this is called petroleum. I think the better word is called hydrocarbon, is it? I forgot it's petroleum or called hydrocarbon pula. Is it hydrocarbon? Something like that. I forgot the word already. Forget the word, something related to carbon. Okay. So yes, fossil fuel, also hydroelectric and so on. State 3 factors that must be considered in operating nuclear power. So what are the 3 factors? Then?
The rate of energy production by power is much greater than that of fossil fuel.
Yes, okay. There are a few things that we can consider, like we already given out in here. The fear of pollution to compare, the location must be strategic, the rate of the energy produced is greater, and of course there are other factors that we may consider, like the economy of the country, and how about the job opportunity, how about the someone got what things that we can consider, um energy, safety already say, is it? Location, and we need to consider the safety of people. We need to consider the law, what the law say about nuclear. There's like a general law in the world about nuclear, and also Malaysia law, and we also see the benefit in terms of majority. If you want to consider like benefit more for more people, or are we going to look at just a certain part? And the last one is the minority. We need to also think about the when I say minority, it means like people, their voice that usually not heard, like maybe some people or just a few people, maybe 100 people just stay a kampong and there. So are you going to build a nuclear just because they are 100 and not important, or because they are just 2 or 10 people just stay at there? Are we going to say that you go away and never mind, something like that, because they are the minority? So many things we need to consider, and then we only make a decision whether really we want to do it or not, and we can do it effectively or not. Okay, so I think this is very important, but especially these are factors to be considered. But I feel that school teachers seldom teach, so that is why, and not school teachers seldom teach, is the, I don't know whether moral class you guys got learn about ethics or not. Yeah, I think that they got teach about ethics or etika. I think in Malay it's called etika, is it? But it's more than just say is right and wrong. It's like when we see something, that we must many things we must see. We must look at the law, look at the job, look at the economy, and then we must explain why we think like that. Then only we will make the decision. I think it's very important, especially if you can learn in a morals class, or when you go out to work, then you need to think, like if you go protest, like you don't like the government, is it correct or wrong? Because by the law you are not supposed to block the road and disturb the road, and in one sense you also think that maybe the government is not fair, I want to go to protest, and even to let the police to catch me, for example. So there are many things to consider, many reasons to consider, and you need to think a lot, which is very good. So next time when you go up, we go to work, we don't just fight with the boss. Then we will think, why the boss do like that, why he like that, why is it because his parent like that, and when your some friend or some student like that, why they are like that, or then only maybe maybe they got family problem, the fight, or maybe they don't have parents, or maybe they have money issue. Then if we need to think, then because of this, are they right or wrong, and so on. So many things to consider, and will help us to not just follow the book, but to really think. Okay, actually we have come to the end of the book already, the chapter. So maybe we can do a few more questions, then we can take a short break. Let me choose the question. Actually for question 2, I think it's more famous. Question 2 and question 4 also is very famous. So let's do a few questions. All three questions is also good lah. Number one is the softball question. Easy question lah. Softball question. Photograph one show a power station in a certain country. Name two country that major use in nuclear energy. China and France. Yes, correct. But here say the France and Slovakia. So anyway, I also think China is also a major contributor. So I just write France and Slovakia or China, so on. Based on your answer 1A, what is the use of nuclear energy in this country? Yeah, okay, of course, we say that we use the energy to generate electric in the large part of the country. State two advantages of nuclear energy sources. Okay, so I write here, for example, low maintenance fee, some more.
Can produce a large amount of energy compared to the other
Yeah, can produce
energies.
large amount of energy compared to fossil fuel, for example. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And produce a large amount of compared to fossil fuel. Okay. Okay. Why the handwriting is blocking the other side? Anyway. Okay, figure 1 shows a nuclear reaction. So we can see there's a chain reaction. Name the reaction. So of course nuclear, that if you still remember, there are still two. One is nuclear fission and one is nuclear fusion. Okay, fusion usually happen in the sun. Two become one. This one become two, two become four, four become six, and more. So we call it as nuclear fission. Not fusion means combine, fission means separate. Based on figure 1.1, explain the nuclear energy. So we need to explain a bit. So usually we say explain the nuclear reaction. So we say that we talk about the neutron. Usually we say that the neutron bombard the heavy nucleus to make it into a two smaller nuclei, and by this it generate a lot of energy. And also neuron, and it also make more neuron, and the neuron will bombard other heavy nuclei so that it will continue to split to a lighter and stable nuclei. So it's more difficult to explain, but let's try to explain. Maybe I should just use the text box is better. Okay, so maybe I want to talk about the neutron first, because the neutron is the fun. Okay, so I will say that nuclear fission occur when neutron bombard or hit, by put bombard a heavy radioactive nucleus. Okay, then I will say this cause the nucleus to split into two lighter nuclei. In this process, it produces more stable nuclei and release a lot of energy. Should I add some more? Should I add let's say if I want to add some more okay, but the answer is not required, but I just say lah, what happened is after it bombard it will produce more stable nuclei, and then it will continue to produce neutron. So this neutron will continue to bombard another heavy nuclei until every nuclei becomes stable. So the answer we explain is just the front part only. We only explain here, but we haven't explained here. Okay, we haven't explained here, but I didn't write down because it's not required in the answer. Okay, it will produce more neutron, and then it will continue to hit the heavy nuclear, and it will continue to split, causing a chain reaction, and it will continue to do until it is done, it's finished. So yeah, can I put this thing up? Sometimes also I don't know how to press, how to adjust this thing. Okay, can already. Oh my goodness, I cannot put this thing to up already. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, the thing disappeared already. Are you serious? Okay, I cannot put up anyway, so I just leave it here. Let's check some grammar so that we make sure that our grammar is correct. The soft, okay, no checking. Okay, nuclear fission occurs when a neutron bombard a heavier radioactive nucleus. This causes the nucleus to split into two lighter nuclei. In this process, it produces more stable nuclei and releases a lot of energy. Okay, so yeah. Based on figure 1, explain the nuclear reaction we already do. What would happen if the reaction is not controlled properly? So if it's not controlled properly, what will happen? So we can say that maybe we can say that it will cause pollution, or it will cause pollution, for example, or then you can explain, okay, it will be detrimental to a person's health, or we can say that it will cause explosion, many people will die in the incident or in the accident. Okay, so that's it. And many people will die in accident. Yep. So that is one of the way you can say. Not only you don't give the answer like explosion, but you just explain a bit depending on the mark. Okay, so we are going to take a short break. Okay, so if no question, then we are going to take a short break, and I see you in the next 10 minutes. Okay, thank you and bye bye.